fathers in my life that I appreciate, and they're all amazing. All the men in my life are phenomenal fathers. My uncles, just everyone, just amazing. So trying to get all that together, and I'm just thinking about how women, a lot of women, not all women of course, but a lot of women who are single mothers, and I'm going to preference everything because I don't want to hear what I always hear in the chat, what I always hear from people when I have these conversations in real time. It's, oh, well, men switch up sometimes. All those things can be true. I'm talking about the women who are having kids with men where y'all weren't together from the jump. Y'all aren't going to be together. He was your sneaky link, your hookup, whatever. Y'all know that y'all aren't on the same page when it comes to raising children. Y'all know that you all are not going to be together forever, and you still decide to procreate. With that being said, a lot of women, in my opinion, do not love their children the way that they think they do. And I know I'm going to get a lot of slack for this, but I'm just telling you my opinion. You don't have to agree, that's fine. You do not have to agree, you don't have to like what I say. But I genuinely feel like a part of loving your children is doing the absolute best and most you can to make sure that they grow up in a healthy two-parent household. And in most cases, we make that choice. We make the choice of who we lay down with. And every time you lay down with someone, there's a possibility that you are going to have a baby or babies. So the key is you have to be selective with who you have sex with. And I know it's easier said than done, but we really have to work on this and implement this because the cycle needs to end. We have generation after generation being born, and it's the same story. So many people have generational cycles of single mothers, and it has to stop somewhere. And it can start with you by making the proper choices, having those important conversations before you sleep with a guy. I don't care if it's on the first date. If you're moving with urgency and you're really trying to find somebody, don't be afraid to have conversations. Hey, do you want children? Talk about how your parenting would be. Talk about things that you believe. Talk about, just the way you handle conflict, just things that you are going to encounter when you become a parent. Go ahead and discuss those things, but stop jumping so quick into sex because then you have a baby and then it's already too late by then. And having children really highlights incompatibilities in couples. It just does. There's things, because it's the hardest job in the world. Raising a new life comes with so many challenges and opportunities, and so many people, it's just become so normalized to just have kids and just provide the bare minimum. And our kids need so much more than the bare minimum, especially in these times where they're being raised by technology, they're being raised by social media. We need to bring old school parenting back. We need to bring back the nuclear family, as it's called. But it's important because no one person can raise a child. They say that it takes a village, not even understanding that phrase comes back from way back when, Neanderthal times. Like, you needed a village for your baby to survive because there was no daycare, there was no technology. Sorry, my shade just fell on my car. There was none of these things. So, and putting your baby down and leaving your baby unattended could leave them vulnerable to predators. So you had these villages, you had multiple people, 15, 20 people on deck, always had somebody to hand your baby off to. And so many women are miserable and mean and bitter because they put themselves in situations that made them likely to become a single mother. And people say all the time, oh, well, you can't control. And there's just all these excuses. And I'm not saying that things don't happen. Life happens. But at the same time, we are way too nonchalant and reckless with sex and having children. And it's just become so normalized to be a single mom. And it's not okay. They're getting rich off of us. Your kids shouldn't have to go to daycare. It should be an option. You should be able to stay home. If you're the breadwinner, your husband or your partner should be able to stay home. One of the parents should be able to stay home with the kids. Even if you choose not to, it should be an option. And when you put yourself in a position to be a single mom, the options are close to off the table. They're a lot less likely that you get to stay home. And even if you do get to stay home, you don't really get to be fully there and engaged because a lot of times you have to work from home. So the point is, you want to put yourself in the best position to do that. On top of, God created mothers and fathers for a reason, man and woman. We both offer something, not just to the world, but especially to children, that the other one doesn't offer. Fathers can't do what mothers do, and mothers can't do what fathers do. It's just not the same. And so many of us are mentally messed up because we grew up in one-parent households. There's so many things about us that could be better if we had a healthy parent dynamic. And people say, oh, well, I grew up in a two-parent household and it was toxic. Again, I said healthy. Before you procreate, work really hard to find that person that you're compatible with. Don't just be reckless. And even if you do make the choice, because even I'll say, let's say hypothetically, you're not working out with the person, still try your best to make it work. I'm all for making it work for the kids. Of course, if you're being abused, if you're getting hit on either side, if she's hitting you, if he's hitting you, whoever, if y'all are getting to the point of physicality, yes, it might not be best to be together. But at the same time, if you can make it work by just being more non-confrontational, I choose that every day of my life. I could go off about all types of things and just be a brat. But every day, I try my best in every situation to make a conscious effort to just keep my mouth closed and try to avoid confrontation. I really don't like confrontation. I don't like conflict. And when you approach your partner like rah, 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 and you're always willing to have it out with them, it's a lot less likely that y'all can make it work. So, especially as a woman, just work on being quiet. Sometimes no response is the best response. And I don't even like to say sometimes, a lot of the times. If you're going to say something that doesn't add value to the situation and doesn't make it better, it's really not worth saying. And especially when you have children, you have to try to avoid conflict with your partner as much as possible, because it's about them. You've lived your life, and I'm not saying your life is over and you're just supposed to roll over and die, but their life is just beginning. So you want to put them in the best position to succeed. And you fighting with your partner all day, you saying things that might lead to y'all breaking up or jeopardizing your relationship, is just not worth it. It's not worth it for them. And your children deserve better. Your children deserve to have their father in their life. And even away from people who stay together, even those who choose not to be together. A lot of women don't love their children because they make it so hard for the man to be in their life. Just because the guy pissed you off, it doesn't mean that you deprive your child from being with